What's going on, guys? My name is Sam Walker and I am a business student at Cal State Long Beach, and if you can already tell by the title of this video, I have some very interesting information for you. About 3 months ago, my car was totaled not once, but 2 separate times during one rental period on the Turo platform. And let me tell you, it was a very interesting experience and definitely a learning experience for me as well. And that's why I'm making this video today, for anybody who's interested in investing into Turo and they're looking for the worst possible outcome. And you guys are probably curious, was it worth it? Would I do it again? And so in this video, I'm gonna cover 3 things. The first thing is gonna be what exactly happened during that process to have your car totaled twice during one rental period. The second one is gonna be how long did it take to get the whole entire process completed. And then the third one is gonna be, do I think it's worth it? Would I do it again? So stick around and we're gonna cover those 3 main topics right now. All right, so before we can get into the details about the outcome, we first need to discuss what had happened exactly in the beginning. After taking a look back, I know that I had stated it happened about 3 months ago. It actually had happened about 6 months ago during Christmas. It was, they requested to have the car during the Christmas period for about 2 weeks, which is something that I couldn't complain about. I was planning on spending time with family, and who can complain about earning some extra income on the side? So I went ahead and accepted the request, and my guest had told me ahead of time that they were planning to travel all around. They wanted to go to the Grand Canyon, they wanted to go to Las Vegas, San Francisco, which was totally cool. I'm totally okay with that. The number one red flag with that being is that the guest was from outside of the country, and this was their first time in America, and they were planning on doing all of that within a 2-week duration in a country they've never driven in. That was something that I should have taken more time to explain to make sure that if they were prepared. But with that being said, that's something that maybe you in the future should take a look at. Now, I was with my family and I got the first phone call about 5 days into the rental period, and my guest had told me that they were parked and somebody was turning around a corner and had hit the car and had dragged along the car the whole entire time, which I don't really know how that exactly worked out. I'll go ahead and pull that first photo up right now for you guys to take a look at. As you can see, the damages aren't crazy, but taking into consideration this is a 2006 Toyota Corolla and the car's only worth about $5,000, damage like that definitely totals the vehicle. But the guest had told me that the car was still drivable, which was something I was okay with. I believe they were in the Grand Canyon at the time. They didn't want to return the vehicle, so they asked me if they could keep the vehicle. I called Turo. Turo told me it was up to me if I wanted to let them keep the car. I didn't want to ruin their trip, and I didn't want to ruin my trip because I was with my family. Now with that, I let them keep the vehicle, and they went on their way. It came around to about 2 days after Christmas, so I believe it was on the 27th. I got a phone call at 7 in the morning. This was after the first accident had already happened, and we already know that the car was totaled at that point. I got another phone call around 7 a.m. and the guest had actually rear-ended someone. And I was just, I don't even know what state they were in, but they had rear-ended somebody, and the whole entire car was just smashing. I'll go ahead and pull those photos up right now. You can take a look at it. And you can see that the old Corolla really took a beating. She got beaten up for sure. I was worried at that point. I was worried about the guest's safety. At no point was I ever mad at the guest. I can never, whenever you run a business, for anyone who's looking to be on the Turo platform, you can never be mad at your guest when a situation like this occurs. And so the way I handled it was extremely professional. I was worried about my guests, making sure they're okay, making sure everyone's safe. And after that was already found out, the guest had told me the vehicle was still drivable, which just blew my mind. This Corolla already had 100,000 miles on her, first of all, and she got in 2 car crashes within one rental period, which that was a double total. So she had decided to keep driving the car because she was still in another state. At that time, I decided to come back home, and the guest had decided to drop the vehicle off here. And that was basically what happened during that period. And I want to say it mostly has to do with just traveling a huge amount of area they wanted to cover within such a short amount of time. So that's what's covered. Next, we're going to cover, after that was already happened, how long did it take for Turo to finish this whole entire claim with my car? And then we're going to move on to see if it was worth it. All right, so after that was all said and done and I got the vehicle back here, it was time to process my claim and start dealing with Turo and to see if it was going to be worth it or not. Now, right when I got the car back, I immediately contacted Turo. The claim was actually processed from the guest side, so we actually got a step forward before the car even made it home. So now the number one thing that I want to mention first is that I'm an independent contractor. I contract out with Turo. Turo does the same thing with other companies. They have a contract with Liberty Mutual, and then Liberty Mutual or Turo, I don't know which one it is, contracts out with another company called Resolve a Claim, and then they contract out with like another tow company called Copart, and it basically is just a long line of just people contracting out with one another. That's awesome, that helps save everybody money, but at the same time, that really slows down the process because communication really becomes a problem at that point. One of the number one issues that I saw during the process was that nobody knew what was going on. Everybody was just kind of confused. They're like, oh, did you tell that person this? Did you tell that person that? And I was just kind of sitting there having to communicate with everyone. That was kind of the main problem that I saw throughout the process. So to kind of get to the chunk of it, it took a little over a month to get the whole entire claim process. I think by the time I got the check, it took like a month and a half for the whole entire process just to be completed and to be done with. Now, with that being said, I hear from other insurance companies, I've never had a car totaled before in the past, so I don't know how that compares to other people. But the main problem is when you're here trying to run a business and your car gets totaled and it's gone for a month and a half, that's a month and a half of income that you lost. Now, there are other options to select higher insurance packages. I choose standard, which is what I opted out for, and that's basically what happened. Overall, everyone was really nice. The process, I think the biggest problem that I had was with the towing company. Communication was just not there at all, but it is something that I had to work with and I had to be extremely patient with and just make sure that you have all the documentations. I was lucky enough to make sure I had every single documentation that I needed to get it as fast as possible. Every time I got an email, I was just on top of it. I was super quick. So I don't know how long it would take for somebody who has a full-time job and just doesn't have time to get to things really quick. For me, I tried to speed it up as fast as I could, and it took about a month and a half. Now, that moves on to my very last topic. Do I think it was worth it? Now, one of the first things, if you ever want to invest in a Turo, is to make sure you get a car for a right price, for a great deal. I have bought and sold cars for a really long time, even though I'm only 21 years old. My family has been, all of my family members have been car salesmen. I've been around cars for a very long time, and I always try to get cars for the best deal. I had got this Corolla, being transparent with you as possible, for around $3,000, and at the end of it, Turo had paid me blue book value, or actual cash value is the way that they determine the price of the car. $5,000 was what I got. And so in the end, it was definitely worth my time. It was something that I felt like that I came out on top, and it was definitely worth it. Now, I also have decided to use that money that Turo gave me to not for myself, to invest back into Turo. I got that money and I immediately put it right back into Turo. I bought 2 brand new cars that you can see on my profile right now. Add those down below, will be the description of my profile, of my referral links, of everything. So you guys can really get a look at how seriously I take this and how much I enjoy Turo, how much I expect to expand within the company. So overall, everything is a great process, and I'm actually going to be making more videos of more damage claims that I've had happen. This is the first time. That was the first total I've had. I've had smashed in windows, broken bumpers. I've had it all, almost, not yet, but hopefully not more. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you could please hit that subscribe button. This is one of the first videos that I put onto Turo. I plan on making videos back to back, continuing to answer every question that somebody may have within the company or with any company that involves the sharing economy. So thank you so much. Don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next video. Thank you.